What is going on, everybody? I'm gonna do a quick recap. Time is 10:24 a.m. It is Monday, May 12th. The markets are still open, but I took my trade overnight. It was a good trade. I did cut it early before my full TP was hit. I risked 350 to make 1,000, and I was kind of late to the trade, so I cut it early. I was happy with what I've taken, but um, we'll get into that in a second on why I cut early and where I should have entered and whether my full TP would have been hit or not. So here is the long position tool. I have that set to my parameters that I risk, which is the red box, and the green box is what I'm willing to make. Or sorry, the green box is what I'm targeting to make. That is my profit target, and the red box is what I'm willing to risk. So as you can see, the market opened up. We had this nice gap indicated by this green box that I've drawn. We actually opened above last week's high and last Friday's high and the last week's high, the high of last week. And so that let me know that we were extremely bullish. So the gap and where the gap occurred at let me know we were extremely bullish. But I didn't want to get in right at the open right here, 6. First of all, I wasn't even paying attention to it right at 6. When I looked at it, it was slightly after 6. But then I realized that we had that wick up there, so we had some rejection. Looking at the hourly and where we were, I said that this on the left here is the hourly. I said that basically we could go take out this high. And so I was bullish, and so I acted on that bias that I had, um, purely because we had the gap, and when we came back to retest, that's what I was looking for, was either we were going to gap and go, or we were going to gap, retest, and then go. So this first pullback here, this first pullback here, I realized that, and once we form these two green candles here, I thought potentially we could be going to take out this high. When we rejected, I said, okay, glad I didn't go long there. That wasn't the move. So it started to pull back. I would have loved to get in here, but I was kind of fixing myself something to eat. So I was not able to get in there. I noticed this. We made a leg higher. Price pulled back a little bit. We started to battle with VWAP. By the time I sat down, we were like here. We had just formed that. It kind of slightly looked like just a tiny bear flag to me. I'm sorry, a tiny bull flag to me. Not necessarily, or a bull pennant, whatever you want to call it. It's not really, technically, like this is a bullish pennant, and you want to see it like, really, really formed. But for me, the way that it kind of had those highs and those lows, and it was sitting above that moving average in the VWAP. I speculated that buyers were in control. That to me is how I was interpreting it, and that buyers were in control, and so I wanted to get into the position. I entered into one contracts here. The goal was to let it come back and retest, and then enter more, kind of build a position depending on what price was going to do. But I didn't want price to run away from me the way it broke out here on this candle. So I already had my 4 set, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna just enter here, set the trade and forget it. So that is what I did. I entered there. So my average, it probably would have put me somewhere around here. This is where I exited at. So I entered in the trade. I'm in 5 contracts, and I'm just sitting there letting it do its thing, letting the trade work out. It reached 800, like a little over 800 at its peak. I realized it was starting to pull back. I had to leave, and so I had to make a decision to either, I actually had some boxes up here. I had to make a decision to either move my stop up to this level for when it potentially came back to retest that level, and lock in profits less than the 700-800 that I seen up here, or just take the 700-800 that I seen and be okay with it. and potentially find a trade later. So I decided to cut it. I was okay. I made $738 and some change on that trade. So happy about that. One good trade. That's the way I should trade. That's the way I want to trade. It's less emotional. It's less mental capital spent. And for me, it's a better way to go. I like that better than scalping. But as you can see, had I gotten an earlier entry, didn't miss the entry, or when I first turned the computer on, like if I enter down here, then obviously, like on this pullback or even this pullback, if I entered on either one of these, obviously my take profit would have been hit. So if I enter here, take profit would have been hit around 7:27 p.m. Had I entered on this candle, take profit probably would have top ticked me right there at 7:27. But over here around 8:39, full TP would have been hit. So full TP wasn't hit, but that's okay. You got to be okay with not having perfect entry sometimes and not giving back profits, right? Or risking more of the loss to more of the profit that you have just to make a few more dollars. I mean, just to make $200 more, I wasn't willing to do that. Obviously, had I moved that stop loss here somewhere, I probably would have moved it just somewhere in this zone, maybe even lower, just to give it because usually sometimes I do that to give it room because I know it's going to come test that. But had I dropped it here just being safe or something like that, then obviously I would have been stopped out or, like I said, less than I had before, which I would have been okay with it, but I wouldn't have been happy. But then at 3 o'clock this morning, we had some news come out about China and tariffs. And so I guess that's what the London session reacted to at 3 a.m. And then for the New York session, I took a quick scalp here, 5 contracts. We are repairing price right now. This is a level that I was looking at to see if we would bounce here or accept price lower and continue to go lower and repair price. But I did take a quick scalp here. I sold and recovered here. I was just taking a quick scalp to VWAP to see if we would go test it. I knew we were going to test it. I figured we were coming actually to repair price, but I was already up 7 something on the day, and $1,000 is the profit target. And so I set the trade, and I just said I was looking for it to go here. If momentum would have pushed us there, I would have held it. But if not, then I just wanted like $250 or something around there, and I got 218 from it. So overall, good day to start the week. It's Monday. I'm done trading. I made $218 on that trade, $738 on the other trade, up for a total of $956. This is the eval that I'm trading, and so it's a little different. I'm getting back to the way I used to trade before I was kind of forced to learn how to scalp in crazy markets, and I kind of stayed in that scalping mentality, even though I still will. There are times, obviously, where we would have to learn how to scalp. You're going to need to learn how to scalp, right? But for the most part, I want to take chunks out of these big moves. But like this, that was a scalp. So I will be scalping, but the majority of my trades, I would like to be ones that are taken with the defined risk that I have, which is my risk. Is, to risk what I want to risk, which is already set, 350, and then to make 1,000. That would be beautiful. And if I make that, I can be done for the day. Or like today, if I come up short, I can find a scalp if it's there. If it's not there, I don't want to force anything. So this is the way I want to trade. That's how today's trading went. Less than 1,000 to pass this eval. Once we pass it and get it paid for, obviously we want to do the same thing that we are doing to pass it. We do not want to force trades. We want to be patient and let the market come to us. And so that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. And I will see you in the next one. Trade well.